Hello everyone, welcome back to the haphazard moon experiment that is our moon base. We're just walking around with Bill over here. We just set up a second pylon of solar panels. We're going to be switching over to the refinery module here. And hopefully, unless something has gone wrong, they should all be attached and everything. Might just end up being that we have to engineer something, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, quick unlink shows that that is not connected anymore. It does tend to do that occasionally, so let's try and attach it to the girder instead, see if that fixes it. Otherwise we're gonna have to be doing a lot of maintenance out here and it's gonna be very annoying. Right, let's switch over. There we go, we fixed the missing link. Now we can expand these solar panels, which should help with our electricity situation. Now we should be able to start building up some new liquid fuel reserves, etc. Because I'm pretty sure we have enough to run one convertotron all time. And while drilling as well, that should help out a lot. We are still drilling for ore, of course. We are, despite drilling for ore, we are still using our ore. And we're not even at like peak efficiency here, which just goes to worry me a little bit for how fast we'll be going through our ore. Quick little autosave. The game has crashed twice in like setting up these two pylons. It's a bit annoying, and I wish they would fix that. At least the developers of the mod. I'm not sure if they're going to, but it would be great. For now we're just testing like how much we can get away with like some panels. I had one of the XL girders break, so I've learned some lessons about not sending enough spare equipment over here. And of course, on camera we already had a solar panel explode, and then I decided to basically use the Tortoise rover as an attachment point, and it worked out great. I've got some new ideas to dig out an old vehicle that I've had lying around, which is basically a truck made of those structural plating. We can send that to Duna, and that should hopefully also help transport things around. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to mess around with that. It'll be fun. We're going on a road trip. Right, now the reason I'm still keeping the resource menu open is that even though it's already at 750 Kelvin out of 1000 Kelvin, which is its core temperature, it's still only at like half efficiency. What do I mean with that? It's still only working half as fast as it could be, or now it's at 3/4. Basically, it needs to operate around peak heat, otherwise you're not gonna get anywhere fast. We're still using a ton of ore, so I think it might have been a little oversight to send 2 convertotrons, which again, doing science for our future trip to Duna is never a bad idea. We are now prepared with knowledge instead of actual failure. This is why we did it on the moon. We can send stuff and it takes like a couple of days perhaps, and then we'll have our stuff on the moon. If we send it to Duna, we're gonna be going for like 6 months. So, I mean, it's definitely good that we got our expertise from testing things on the moon. We are overheating, actually, so we need the second thermal control system, which is broken, unfortunately, to keep that at peak efficiency. That is good to know, and it has run out of ore, which is why we're gathering our electricity back up. It's also dropping the core temperature again. We're only working at 2.5% load because that's all the ore we can drill. So in retrospect we're going to send more Drill-O-Matic mining excavators. And we'll only send a single convertotron. So that is good to know, that is good science. Meanwhile we are... I mean, we can send Bill to try and take a look at those panels. Come on, Bill, I need you to quickly dump some stuff in that container, which seems extra. There we go. You're carrying some of those. Yeah, we sent a couple too many ground bases. I think you might be able to see that. We didn't send enough solar arrays or other things. We haven't really used any of the EVA propellants. I don't plan on doing that either. We can just refill it in here now. So in retrospect, we'll send less of that unless we're sending the crew on a very long mission. Oh yeah, right. We're gonna check out the broken panel, see if we can fix that. I'm not sure you can. I don't think you can repair solar panels either. Yeah, if you could just... I don't think we're gonna be able to repair it. No, that's unfortunate, but such is the way of life. Quickly slow ourselves down. There we go. We can quickly climb in here to refill our EVA propellant, I suppose. Ladder is more than deep enough, which is good, because we've got a second ladder overlap here. It's not providing any problems for climbing up, so that's some valuable knowledge for the future mission to Duna. Board in there, and you can see the center of gravity is actually over here, because we have attached external stuff to it, not eternal stuff. It's probably going to break at some point, and then we'll sit here cursing. I mean, we are slowly getting some liquid fuel and things. This is why I thought about sending multiple convertotrons, but we just don't have the ore. Is the problem here. They are working at over peak efficiency, which is unfortunate. Base refinery. We'll cancel the we'll cancel that for now. Let it build up a bit of ore. We're building up 6.16 units per second, which is quite nice. Yeah, we'll let this cool down, get back to peak efficiency. Actually, I want to get Bill out right now. We're gonna get Bill to climb down. I said we're gonna get Bill to climb down. Jesus, this ladder is annoying. Right, there we go. We have conquered the little bump that is the module. There we go. Please don't bump the rocket. Thank you. I'm pretty sure we had some coolant in here, although... or at least a module to help cool. There we go. We have spare ones. Have to be attached with our tool, so we equip our handy tool again. Now the reason I'm attaching it to the outside first is that I'm worried if we throw it on the ground, it'll break. Because I have fairly reliable intelligence that... well, basically I'm going off the assumption that the solar panel did the same, so I'm expecting that to break as well. Deploy the radiator. That should help cool. Yeah, that's why we send spare parts. A great and valuable lesson for the future. I thought about adding it to there. You know what? Since we have one left in the pack, we're gonna try and throw it on the ground and see if it breaks or not. For science. Otherwise, we'll know that we'll have to attach everything to the rover and then drive it over to where we want it to be, etc., which is all a big mess. Oh, it actually didn't break. Wow. I'm calling that a victory, I suppose. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab it. I'm gonna lower it over there. I could alternatively grab one of the boxes over here, try and put it in there. Sort of forgot about that, but yeah, that is also a possibility. Can I attach you anywhere over here? It didn't break. Huzzah! Science has been perverted. It's not looking too beautiful, but it works, and that's all I need to know for now. Let's get Bill back in the rover, because once we get the rover... actually, we can use the rover as a makeshift refueling vessel. It's not going to be too useful, but hey, it has fuel in it. It's going to work. So let's... I think I'll see you back at Kerbal Space Center, and we'll start designing a rocket that can bring people back from the moon. Because, of course, if we're going to have a base here, we're going to send people over and rotate people out, etc. They're not going to be here forever. There we go. hit a quick save before the game crashes again. We're gonna set the base refinery up to start doing liquid fuel and oxidizer. Because damn it, we have the cooling capability now. Everything's going to keep operating at peak efficiency and no higher than that. Although we're not going to get a whole lot of fuel. Maybe in like the span of 2 days we'll get quite a bit. But we'll have to see. Anyway, I'll be right back. And we'll see you in the Kerbal Space Center. Alright, welcome back everyone to the Kerbal Space Center in the Vehicle Assembly Building. This is going to be our return rocket, as the name suggests. We're going to be sending up 5 orange tanks and the small X208 to give a little bit of extra fuel to the asparagus staging. We're going to be ditching these tanks first, followed by these, and then finally this tank should get us to the moon, where we will use this final stage to slow ourselves down. We have attached some I-beams to the side, and then we've had to place these in an interesting fashion, I'm not gonna lie. This was a bit weird. If you try to rotate them upside down, like for example, this is where they usually deploy. If we were to flip them upside down, see, this works fine. Then we turn them around, and they get excited for no reason and start pointing upwards. Which is very annoying when you're trying to place them just like this, but to the other side, which they refuse for some reason. They won't even take up the suggestion. It's very weird. So yeah, that is how we are not able to deploy any of the landing legs normally, so I-beams. And then, once this stage gets us into orbit and towards Kerbin, we can literally just throw ourselves at the planet with 3,200 meters per second. I have done a test. This should slow us down quite nicely, I'd say. But yeah, let's quickly load all that back up. And then we'll go to the launch pad. Seems like a good idea to get this party underway. Almost there. Yeah, the game has been stuttering a bit. Like I said earlier, it's crashed twice while doing the things on the moon. And I wasn't even like doing anything intensive. I think it's just mod issues. Oh well. Let's get this launch underway. It's a bit stuttery, but I think that should sort itself out when we get a little bit higher in orbit, etc. Yeah, it'll be fine. Nothing to worry about there at all. Just need to keep an eye on the speed, etc. But I mean, we've done this a million times. The only reason why I'm showing this launch is because, well, it took a bit longer than I expected to put this rocket together, and I'm recording this when the video should be uploading already, so I don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff off camera and then be like, hey, we did a lot of things. Yeah, I overslept, so that threw my plans into chaos and a headache going on, but I still want to get the video out at least. So yeah, I'll probably put From the Depths on a break soon actually, and then switch it up with probably the game This is the Police once it finally releases. Unfortunately, there has been some well, the game didn't release quite on time because of a publisher error, allegedly. And I'm inclined to believe them, but it's still just a bit annoying. I wanted to get the series started a bit earlier. But oh well, there's probably going to be like one more From the Depths video in which I will announce that we're going to be going on a break with that. Hope people don't mind too much. It is a very time-intensive series, and I don't always have the time. I wish I could do this as a full-time job, but I can't right now, so that is just something we'll have to deal with. Anyway, we just ditched the first asparagus stage. Our second drop tank still have plenty of fuel. We're going to use all these engines to get ourselves in a nice high orbit. Well, I say nice and high orbit. We're going to be aiming for a 70 by 70 kilometer orbit again, of course, because that is the most... Well, we don't need to put put too much energy into our orbit around this planet when we're going to the moon. Let's just leave it like that. So we're going to be trying to do a nice gravity turn and everything. Everything seems to be going quite alright. Apoapsis isn't all that high yet, although it's getting there slowly. It's a bit dark, so I'll probably edit this up in post-processing, nothing to worry about. You should all be seeing this fine, whereas I'm seeing almost nothing. Yeah, for example, if I look over to my second monitor on my right over here, the preview screen is like nearly black, which is not good. There we go. 52 kilometers, we're getting there. Just keep burning towards optimal orbit for just a little while longer. Check our fuel, we still have plenty of fuel. 66, 67, 68. Yeah, we're gonna slow down now. Try and not aim too high above 70. There we go. We're not actually in a 70 kilometer orbit right now, but with the way I try to make my orbits go round, we will be fine. Nothing to worry about at all. Also going to be starting a Factorio series when Hearts of Iron ends. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of interesting changes around the channel soon in terms of content. I hope people will appreciate that. Kerbal is going to go on for another while. I still want to get like 1 or 2 bases on the Duna surface because honestly, why the hell not, right? Who doesn't want to send planes to fly over Duna? I certainly want to. And it's a bit easier on Duna because Duna actually has an atmosphere rather than... Eve's atmosphere is way too thick, so that would lead to problems getting people back off the planet, which is one thing that I'd like to do. And the moon has no atmosphere, so there's not really any flying to be done except like hurling yourself over the terrain at really fast speed. You know, that doesn't really... it technically counts as flying, just not the plane flying that I want to do. Keep an eye on our fuel here, we're nearly out. And 30, 20, and bye-bye. Right, so they're gone now. We're just going to keep burning our orbit here. And this is why I aimed a little low, because we're still trying to raise our apoapsis up so that we don't fall back down. Seems like a reasonable thing to do. Yeah, we're about to reach our apoapsis. We're starting to get ahead of it again. So we'll just keep burning like this for a minute, and then things will be fine. Should be able to make it into an orbit easily enough. We have made it into orbit on a test-like burn, so we should be fine. Perfectly fine. Just going to take a little bit more to burn. There we go, just keep pushing that apoapsis forward. You never want to reach your apoapsis because then you start falling back down and you'll have wasted a bit of energy. As it stands right now, we are more and more able to point prograde without like negatively affecting our apoapsis. There we go. We're about to get a periapsis now and then we'll be okay. Yep, there we go. We'll start slowing down because I want to do as much of our burn at the apoapsis. So we don't put too much into our apoapsis while still raising our periapsis as much as possible. Trying to be as effective as we can be, of course. Right, just need 25 kilometers more and then we'll be fine to end this episode. Right, so there we go. We are now in orbit, effectively. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, despite it being a bit short, as again, I sort of overslept, and therefore I didn't have time to do a massive episode. Hope you'll join me next time as we land on the moon, send this rocket back home, and then start preparing a mission to Duna. Because we have some experience to gain for our Kerbals. I'll be taking a look at what is the best way to possibly get that done, but that's all for next time. If you enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like down below. Leave a comment if you have anything to say, and if you want to see more Kerbal, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, have a good one, folks.